Welcome to Around Town featuring what's happening here in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Dick Patten, and welcome to the part of February that everybody's getting ready, excited for Valentine's, and of course, school vacations coming up for the kids who are in school, and spring training. Yes, the Red Sox bus is on its way to Florida, and just think, in a couple of weeks, we'll be having our first exhibition games of the season.
Yes. Hot dog season.
Yeah, spring is coming, and I'll tell you, I hope it's going to come on time, but who knows. Mm-hmm. Today I'm pleased to have as my guest. Now, he told me his name. I thought I knew what his name was. Now it tells me it's a different thing. So, Getachew Silva.
It's a Getachew Silva. Yeah, you say Getch, though, if it makes it easier.
Say
Getch.
Getch.
Sometimes, yeah.
We'll do Getch. Yeah,
we'll do Getch a little bit easier.
Yeah, we'll do Getch. I met Getch this last fall. He and a friend of his who works up at TD Bank up here in the Heights, Anthony, and Ron Joni, right?
Yes, Ron Joni.
Ron Joni. Well, they're both very outgoing and very good to work with. And so I said to them both, because Anthony said, you ought to get Getch on TV. I said, sure, I don't care. Well, here he is, finally. I began wondering if he was going to seriously not come on. But,
of course.
But what's interesting is that Getch is from Ethiopia. And I just found out, too, something I didn't know, that he was adopted back, 11 years ago?
So 11 years ago.
How old were you back then?
I was, let's see, 9? I just turned 9. So we came in December of 2004, and then I turned, 9 right over there. So, came into winter and thrown into the shock of it all. So
I was going to say, you must have been shocked by winter.
Yeah, it was a little bit, it was interesting. There wasn't any snow or anything on the ground, so we at least had a chance to be prepared for it and for our parents to explain it to us. So.
Now, have you gone back to see, is your real family still in Ethiopia?
Yeah, my mother is alive, and I've got cousins, aunts, and uncles, and more people than I could probably ever name. But we went back, I think it was in 2007, so that was really cool. And we got to visit the country and do visit some family members and kind of see where we grew up, and got to cover the country on a more tourist kind of thing.
Now, if there's anything that's uncomfortable for you to answer, you tell me.
Of course.
But was it difficult for you to go back to see your real mother or something, a real dad or whatever?
I mean, of course, I think it always is, just because there's memories and all the the sentimental attachments and stuff.
Of course.
To the country. But at the same time, it was kind of like we were. I don't know. You got to look at it from a different point of view, right? So, you saw it as I was forced to leave, or they're sending me away, or something along those lines. And you got to look at it from the sense that, hey, listen, I got to go to this incredible country, got to have this incredible family, and got to experience so many different types of opportunities. So you were able to look at it from that perspective when you went back. So
I'm curious, and I shouldn't be nosy.
Oh, please be.
But I'm curious as to why at your age you were adopted, because normally you think of adoptions always infants, babies,
and all that stuff. Yeah, so in that actually that did make it a little bit harder for us to be adopted. But when I was very young, my father had died.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
I'm sorry to hear.
No, that's okay. But when so there's 3 of us. There were 3 of us. So there was me, my brother, and my sister, and it became really hard for a woman to single-handedly raise 3 children. So I think he made the best decision.
Do you keep in contact with your brother and sister?
Oh, my brother and sister, they were adopted with me.
Oh, good. Yeah, fantastic.
So which was incredible.
Wonderful.
Yeah, which doesn't happen often, but we got adopted together, and
good.
We keep in contact with some of our relatives. We actually had our cousins from Ethiopia visit and stay over our house for the summer, so it was really cool.
Now, if I remember right, and maybe I don't, but I always loved history.
Yes.
And for some reason, I thought Ethiopia wasn't there's a country that's right next to break off from them.
Eritrea.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
So Eritrea. I think there was a civil war.
I remember that.
Yep. There was a massive civil war. This was probably when I was either super young or before I was born. There was a civil war, and Eritrea broke off and became its own country. And funny enough, after Eritrea broke off, Ethiopia no longer had any seaport or any sea access.
I know, yeah.
Took the beaches away, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Why do they want their independence? It's odd that they're independent.
I don't know, actually. That's probably, different political agendas and different ideologies, probably.
The first time I ever heard of Ethiopia, of course, when I was in school, obviously. Yeah. But the first time I ever heard of Ethiopia was when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and the emperor or president or Haile Selassie was at the funeral.
Was he?
Oh yes.
I did not know that.
Yes,
yeah,
and
wow.
if you go on YouTube, you can not only see this show, because my fantastic director over there has been putting all the shows on YouTube now.
Good.
Yes, he has worked very hard. He's got the shows on there, and it's just been fantastic. But in addition to that, you can see the John F. Kennedy funeral.
Really?
The whole thing is on there. And there's a part where it shows the dignitaries walking from the White House to the church. And he is in the front row beside de Gaulle from France.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. And it mentions him several times because he was at Arlington National Cemetery when they buried Kennedy. So if you ever go on there and want to see him, he is on the front row with de Gaulle and
he was definitely, he's a very big figure in Ethiopia. Which is kind of funny because they ended up overthrowing, the country overthrew him.
Yeah, I know,
Very, very big figure, and he's very idolized.
It was Emperor
Haile Selassie. Yep.
Haile Selassie?
Yep, I think, I don't know if you remember too, Ethiopia was under not colonization, but Italy did take over for a little while.
Oh, really?
So and there's a civil, a rebellion, and he's known for overthrowing Italy, or at least throwing them back from.
Oh, wow.
Since
wasn't it during World War II for some reason that who was it from Italy? Didn't they invade?
That's what it was.
They invaded Ethiopia.
Yep, they invaded. They invaded Ethiopia.
Rommel, wasn't it?
One of those guys, was it?
Rommel, I think.
One of those guys, yeah.
Because there was I'm trying to think who the different ones were, but I think it wasn't. I know it wasn't Hitler, but
no. It was an Italian guy, and
I think it was Rommel.
Yep, it was, and so they make songs and stuff about it, about being able to throw the Italians out. And actually, if you go to the center of Ethiopia, there's Italian restaurants.
Really?
So when we actually visited there with my parents, we had probably one of the best pizza we've ever had, and it was at
Now, what is the language they speak over there? Italian, or is it
Ethiopia? No, they're unique in the sense that they have over 90 different languages. So if you look at like the United States, we've got like different states and all that stuff. They have different tribes, and they have their own language, their own culture, and that's each tribe has their own customs and languages that they follow.
Wow. Now, since you've been here, did you go to high school here too?
So, I went to high school at Pinkerton Academy in Derry.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I grew
the
up,
Astros.
Oh, yes. Astro Pride.
That's a big rivalry with Concord Highboy, Pinkerton.
Oh, yes.
Football, especially.
Football.
Between Londonderry and Pinkerton and Concord, boy.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
They were rivals there.
Absolutely. The three of us were.
Huh. So how did you happen to go? So you lived down in Derry that area?
I lived in Derry and moved here to Bow, New Hampshire at the end of my senior year. So I graduated and moved here.
Well, at one time both students went to Concord High School.
Did they really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
When I was in school.
The high school or all the schools?
No, just the high school.
Oh, okay.
From grades 9 through 12, the Bow students went to Concord High.
Yep.
And that was from the mid-'60s, at least from the 60s up through the 70s. And it wasn't till sometime around mid-'80s maybe, or whatever, that Concord, the city of Concord, didn't renew their contract to take the Bow students.
Really?
And it was personally, I think it was a foolish move. But anyway, it forced Bow to build their own high school. because it was either at a tying in maybe with Manchester schools or something. But
that would have been a long
but they
commute.
built their own schools, high school.
Good school system too. My siblings
Yeah.
go there. Yeah.
And it was quite of a shock, and I think many times now they do miss having the Bow students there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were there. And,
it's probably a good thing that they built, because Dunbarton goes to the Bow school system too.
they do now. They used to go to Goffstown, but they switched school districts either last year or this year.
Yeah.
So, and of course now Concord takes in the Deerfield students.
Really?
Yeah, Deerfield comes here. That's a long distance.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh my gosh, you'd think they'd be better off going to Manchester.
So how hard was it to get used to the different subjects? Now English, you had to learn English.
Yeah.
And how about holidays? Did Ethiopia celebrate Christmas, or was there something else?
So they celebrated Christmas. They celebrated Little Christmas. So instead of doing the actual the December 25th, they celebrated the day that the three wise men found him.
Yeah.
So they celebrate that. As far as the Santa Claus and the gifts and all that stuff, that really didn't exist. It was more of a festival kind of thing where you brought food and different types of meals and dance and music and all that.
So you never heard of Kwanzaa then over there?
No, that's funny actually. The first time I ever found out Kwanzaa was probably my sophomore year of high school. And somebody was like, "Hey, do you celebrate Kwanzaa?" And I'm like, "Kwanzaa?"
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of it till I got here. So.
Suppose there was somebody out in California who was I don't know if he was incarcerated or
That's
something.
what I heard. I thought it was created by a guy in prison.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, I guess. And I really haven't much as I'm involved with Christmas, I just have never got into it because I know a lot about it. I mean, I know Hanukkah, of course.
Yep.
And Christmas. And they have made both of those days very commercialized, which is sad. I mean, I have a Jewish best friend, and he gets disgusted because it's they've made Jewish stockings now for Hanukkah.
It's like with the gifts.
I mean, it's really Hanukkah trees.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't do that. They have their candles that they have no window, but
no, definitely
crazy.
But
they've done it. But how about the food? What was some of the foods over there?
So the food, very unique. So they had I guess the primary meal source came from this flat pancake thing. It was called injera. So it was this probably about this big. It was a flat thing, and what you did was you piled different meats and vegetables and sauces and everything on there, and you just ate it with the bread.
Really?
Yeah, it was very unique.
When you say vegetables, are you talking? I'm sure you're not talking peas, corn, carrots, and.
So corn is a part of their diet. You're talking mostly like cabbages and and lettuce and and spinach and all that.
A little gassy stuff.
Yeah. So exactly. Nothing that's going to make me feel better.
Now, how about beans and things like that, like string beans or the regular baked beans we have?
No, you had the peppers and all that stuff.
Really?
Nothing with the beans that.
Nothing with that.
So it's just pretty simple.
Yeah.
Simple vegetables. You had potatoes and you did have carrots too.
Yeah.
So because easy to grow. But
now, what about in the wild animals? Did you see like lions and all them over there, or zebras, giraffes?
I get those questions all the time. As far as the lions and all those animals go, they go towards more the southern part of Ethiopia. So they do exist in some parts of villages. The animals that I saw around were mostly you got the hyenas and the African foxes and all that stuff. But when you get to the cool exotic animals, they're farther down south.
Do they come in the city at all? I mean, do you have to be careful because hyenas are dangerous?
They in fact, they're so dangerous that they have like a story about hyenas, grabbing kids in the middle of the night, just scare kids off and all that stuff. But yeah, you do have to be very careful. They usually don't let kids walk at night by themselves, or the adults held guns to make sure that they didn't attack livestock and all that. So
really.
Yeah. So
where did the slogan ever go of laughing hyena? Really? If they're that dangerous,
no idea.
I mean, my goodness.
I don't know why. Probably because the sound they make. They're
really.
They're little. laughing sounds, their growls, whatever it is.
What about monkeys or chimpanzees?
So yeah, those
elephants.
Monkeys, like, they do exist, but like I said, they go towards either more the southern or more up towards the northern area. We did see them when we visited in the wild, like when we went to visit and do a tour of Ethiopia. We did get to see them, and they're just all over the place too. They call them the gelada baboons. They're cute little golden monkeys.
Really?
Yeah, just everywhere.
It's just interesting because I've never traveled abroad.
No, you should.
But I know. But I'm just very. I mean, I've gone to Canada, yes.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I've gone. I just, to be honest with you, myself, there's so many places here in the United States that I'd like to see.
Yep.
Without going over to, I mean, it'd be nice to, my thoughts are, I'd like to go to England, obviously, to London. Scotland would be, they say, is beautiful up there, and Ireland. But I've always wanted to go visit Austria. Yeah. You know, that countries like Austria, Switzerland, but I've heard a lot about Poland. Yeah. But I also would like to go to the Vatican.
That would be cool.
You know, being Catholic, and then, of course, going to Bethlehem to see where Jesus was born. But, but the trouble is, there's so much unrest in the world that, I'm so afraid of.
You never know.
You never know what you get into.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I guess I'd just as soon stay here and.
Can watch it from TV.
Yeah, I mean, really. I don't know. I'm just a scaredy cat, I guess.
It's funny that you say that because a lot of the question that I get is, hey, listen, would you go back there and maybe even stay there for a year? And it's one of those things where there's so many places, like you said, even in America that I've never seen. Like, got the Grand Canyon. There's so many exploring to do here at home. So it's,
There is. There's a lot of places to see.
Yeah.
So now, since you've been here, I heard you say you're going to go to UNH hopefully next year.
Yes.
And you want to do what? Business administration? Or what are you going to study?
So I'm studying business. I haven't decided whether to go towards what area in business to go to. I'm leaning towards the finance area right now. But and I don't know if you mind me mentioning too is one of the other things that I've been working on too is I have a nonprofit too.
Oh really?
So so it's cool.
What's the nonprofit?
The nonprofit's called Your Eyes Wide Open. What it does is it basically helps or gives opportunities to children in third world countries to get an education. So it's something that we started with a few friends and I, and my girlfriend actually was the one that was the big proponent of it, and we've really been. So it's been
so keep your eyes wide open?
The organization is called Your Eyes Wide Open.
Eyes Wide Open.
Yeah, so what we do is we sponsor a bunch of different projects that encourages people to go to school in third world countries. So we so I think it was about a year ago we started, so we're pretty new. We sent about 5 kids to school so far, so it's been good.
But how do you raise your money though?
So we do a bunch of different things. So we do so we know a lot of people that have adopted, say, from Africa and Ethiopia. And what we do is we hold a bunch of like dinners, and we do a bunch of little parties for kids and all that stuff. And we're working on doing a half marathon in Durham right now, so it's pretty cool.
In Durham.
In Durham, yes, it's good for the college students, but
interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your girlfriend. There's something serious there going on?
It's been a year and a half now, so
there's something serious.
Yeah,
I think you'll be.
I think it's pretty good. I think we'll go far.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
so.
Get your education first there.
No, absolutely, of course. We're both pretty serious about it.
That's right, because I'll tell you, once you settle down, you'll never go back and get what you need for education. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We're both pretty serious about the education. She actually goes to UNH right now, so.
Well, I love college sports.
Yeah.
And everybody who knows me knows that I'm a diehard Michigan. Yes, I'm a Wolverine, and I know I should be rooting for my home state team, but I just love the Wolverines, and they're getting a good team. They had a good team this year. Now they're going. Hopefully, this next year will be a good one. Huh?
Think they'll do well next year?
I think that they landed the number one prospect in the country this year.
Who's the number one this year?
I can't think of his name. I don't remember what it was. He was either defensive end or defense tackle or something like that. Yeah. but they landed him. He had between Clemson and him, Michigan, and he chose Michigan. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and I think hopefully this is. I mean, Coach Harbaugh has got them shaping them up.
Yeah.
I think not to say they got a little lazy, but I think I met Grady Hoke, the coach, a couple of years ago. Had a nice meeting with him.
That's awesome.
When I was out to Ann Arbor, and super guy.
Yeah.
But I think the trouble is they took a little bit advantage of him because he was not the tough man. He wasn't. And Harbaugh basically said, "You're here to play football. If you don't, out you go."
Yeah, it's true.
So
it makes good teams.
But I love college sports. So now you're over at TD Bank, and how do you like working with the customers? I mean, is it different?
So TD Bank is I came from a credit union before that, but it's incredible in the sense that you meet so many different types of people. Like for example, we wouldn't have even met and had an opportunity to do this if we didn't.
I know.
If I wasn't working there, so I'm like yourself. I'm a people person too, and really, I enjoy getting to chat with people and knowing different things about them and learning where they come from and all that. So it's been incredible. Yeah. Good staff too.
Well, my wife works for TD Bank. Has for almost 40 years.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep, she is head of the technology division for the wealth management.
Wow.
Yep, she's
I did
been
not
almost
know that.
40 years. She has an office down on North Main Street.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's on the second floor. And she was head of trust operations for wealth management, but then they did some moving. And they moved that whole office to New Jersey.
Yep.
And so 80 of them lost their positions. They could.
80 of them?
Yeah, she had 80 people working underneath her. Wow. And if they wanted to move to Jersey, they could keep their jobs, including Deb. Yeah. But she didn't want to move. But luckily, she was able to transfer over to technology.
Wow, from trust.
So she works out of the home there, and she goes in once a week. But it's been good because
sounds like a smart
she was basically Bank of New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it really is irritating because now, of course, Laconia citizens grabbed that name after TD dropped it.
Yep.
So banking's been interesting for you.
It's been interesting. I'm actually seriously looking into it for career wise and seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should. Now in Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. What do they have for currency there?
So they call it the birr. So I think it's
the what?
The birr.
The birr.
Yep. The exchange rate here is awful. So if you were $1 here is like almost close to 20 over there. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, but as far as I grew up in a very very village like, so there were no roads, no anything like that.
Really?
So I really didn't get a chance to experience the going into banks or getting in a car and driving somewhere. So it's very different.
So what is a typical what we would call a town or a city? What would it be like over there? Now, usually you have the fire department, police department, some grocery stores, maybe a pharmacy, bank or whatever. What would it be like over there?
So you've got your typical city, like anywhere else, there's a grocery store, you can walk in and get it. But as far as where I came from, which was a very small village, it was just, you wanted to go to the grocery, you went to the back of the farm and picked your corn and ate it. And you wanted to, get some sugar and you didn't have any, you went to your neighbor and said, hey, listen, you got any sugar, I'll give you this. It was more a trade-based kind of a civilization as opposed to the,
So you didn't have all this stuff.
No, so like organized fire departments and police departments, that wasn't really a thing.
How about McDonald's?
McDonald's. Oh, that's good. No McDonald's.
No McDonald's.
I guess my cousins who live in the city did tell me that there's a place called Burger Queen there, but
not Burger King.
But not Burger King.
Burger Queen.
Burger Queen.
Never heard.
So
Riot.
Maybe they'll do like a marriage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, there used to be a burger. What the heck was it? Well, there was Howdy Beef Burger for years here. I was one of the first.
Really?
Yeah. There's a cartoon character called Howdy Doody, and this was a show back in the 50s.
Yep.
And like Wendy's. This was the character Howdy Doody was like the mascot for the Howdy Beef Burger.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first fast foods we had in Concord. And then, of course, that went out. And then McDonald's came in, and Burger King right after it. Then Wendy's. But so you don't have any of those things over there?
No fast food. We didn't have restaurants.
Really?
No, like at least in the village area that I grew up, there are restaurants in Ethiopia, but where I grew up, there weren't. No.
Wow.
You know,
you got a culture shock.
You're talking about no running water, no showers, no.
Really?
You want to take a shower. Found a lake and jumped in and rubbed the soap.
Now, do you have winter over there?
No.
You
So
winter.
there's 2 seasons. There's the dry season and there's the wet season. So you got the rainy season where everything just kind of floods in and lots of rain, and then you got the dry season where everything pretty much goes to dust for a little while.
Do you miss it though over there?
Oh.
If you had a chance, would you go back?
Oh my God, not even. No. I love it here.
I mean, it's so simple there, which is kind of nice, but yet
it's one of those things where if you put me there for a few weeks, I don't even know if I'd be able to last.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to my showers and my nice Burger Kings and McDonald's. I like my burgers. They're nice.
You like your burgers?
I like my burgers. Well done with some fries.
Really? And no Kentucky Fried Chicken over there?
No KFCs. No Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Not an Olive Garden guy.
No, I'm not an Olive. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
No.
But Dunkin' Donuts, because that's a big deal.
Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. None of those there. So they do have coffee though. That's a very big thing.
Really?
Coffee is it's considered the birthplace of coffee. Ethiopia is. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, goodness, no. I thought Colombia was the coffee bean capital.
So I mean, I'm sure but at least the Ethiopians, they like to pride themselves in being the founder of coffee or the birthplace of coffee. So it's very big. It's in every single ritual and pretty much a part of the daily intake. So coffee is a big part. I think it runs the world.
Wow. I see. I don't like coffee.
No?
Never have, never will. It's funny because I was a police dispatcher for almost 30 years.
Really?
Yep. Then I had a stroke and several years ago, and that took me right out of it completely, out of working. So, but mornings when I used to work nights or whatever, I used to have to make coffee for the officers when they came in, and it smelled good. But one day I tried it, and I put so much sugar or milk to it, it's like, ugh. And I can't drink it black. No. I'm sorry, but oh gosh, but no. My wife owns stock in, I think, Dunkin' Donuts, but it's just nothing. Hot chocolate, yes, I'll have a hot chocolate, tea? But I'm not into. No, I don't like tea.
You don't like tea?
I don't like iced tea, and I don't like hot tea.
Wow.
I know, isn't it something?
You're one of a kind.
I know. Well, it's like 63, that's how I do it. Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't know about, huh?
How do you wake up in the morning?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I'm awake.
No
early.
caffeine? You don't have no?
Well, see, I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke years ago.
Yeah.
But I had what they call the bariatric surgery.
Oh.
3 years ago, 4 years ago in April, up to Dartmouth and Hanover.
Yep.
I had the bariatric surgery, and so I've lost over 200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I was at 440. And so, anyway, but so a lot of stuff I used to drink, I can't drink no more. I can't drink soda and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ian, I don't know what he does. Maybe he drinks soda. You drink soda? What do you drink? Caffeine or what? Coffee?
All of it, yeah.
All of it, yeah.
Responsible American.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what you have to do. You got to do
try to
it.
cut down some of the bad stuff, so.
I don't care. Before we close, we're coming down now, but Addis Ababa, what was
Addis
that?
Ababa. So Addis Ababa is the capital city of
That
Ethiopia.
is the capital.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's
okay.
it's the more modern. You get to see. You can have your restaurants and your firefighters and all that stuff there.
Oh, okay.
It's a typical city there. But,
and do people walk with the stuff on their head with like the baskets and things like some
in Addis Ababa?
Anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part. Yeah,
it
of
is.
Course. Yep. So so there was no running water.
Yeah.
So you had to sometimes walk a mile and a half to just even go into the nearest lake and just bring some water back. So
my goodness.
So yeah.
Well, that's my signal that ended. But It has been really a
I'm
joy having
I'm
you
really
on,
glad I got to do
Catch.
this.
I
This
know,
is
yes,
awesome.
I know. We'll have to have
Loved
you
it.
come back on in the future.
I would love to.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
sure. I mean, especially when the holidays are coming up
Yeah,
and stuff to hear
I
more.
will bring some stuff. And
Yeah.
I can bring my siblings. I know so many Ethiopian people. I'm sure you.
That would be fun. That
Be
would
able
be
to give you
lots
a-
of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to bring.
Well, good. Well, we've been talking with, I'll call him Catch, but I don't know if I can see now. How is it?
Getachew.
Getachew
There you go. You got
Silva.
it.
Yeah, and he works at TD Bank up here on the Heights. And sometimes you go to the teller window, you'll see him stand there smiling
Yeah,
or
come on
whatever,
by.
having a good time. Yeah, and say, "Hi, Catch."
Exactly.
You know, and him and
give you free
Tony up
money.
there. But so it's been good talking with him. He was from Ethiopia and, of course, was adopted and
Yes.
came here. And so we hope to get him on again very soon and talk some more about this.
Yeah, I would love to.
So with that in mind, we'll hope you have a good day, good weekend, and thanks to my my director Ian, and again watching on YouTube as
Yes.
well as 22 on CCTV, and we'll talk with you again soon. I'm your host, Dick Patten.